Opinions on Season 4 of Prison Break have always been divided. Some people see it as slow, even boring. Others don't see it that way at all. And when you look at the ratings, they actually sit around an average of 8, with a few episodes standing out above the rest. But those outliers aren't the point, because every season has its weaker moments. Episodes that don't fully land, that feel slower, less memorable. What matters more is everything in between. And that's where Season 4 becomes interesting, because even its more average episodes aren't as weak as they're often made out to be. And that's exactly what I want to show you, using one episode as an example, Episode 6. In this episode, Blowout. A big part of Season 4 revolves around obtaining Scylla, and this episode is no different. But what makes it stand out is how much is happening at the same time. The team is trying to secure another component. Mahone gets arrested. Gretchen and Teabag are both moving their own pieces. And then there's Wyatt, who, in this episode, feels almost central to everything. At first, it might seem like too much, too many storylines, too many moving parts. But that's exactly where it starts to work. Because instead of competing with each other, these storylines build pressure together. Every scene adds something: urgency, tension, or consequence. Nothing feels isolated. Everything connects to the same idea, that the situation is slowly getting out of control. And that's what holds the episode together. Not one big moment, but the constant feeling that everything could go wrong at any second. One of the more interesting things about Season 4 is that it doesn't always rely on Michael and Lincoln. In earlier seasons, they are the clear center of everything. The plan starts with Michael. The emotion comes from Lincoln, but here, that shifts. And in this episode, that shift becomes very clear. Because instead of Michael and Lincoln, it's Wyatt and Mahone who drive the tension. While the team is busy executing another part of the plan, something much more intense is happening on the side. Mahone gets caught, not because of a big mistake, but because of pressure, timing, bad luck. And from that moment on, the episode changes, because now it's no longer just about the plan. It becomes personal. Wyatt enters that space, and everything slows down, not in pacing, but in feeling, because every scene with him carries weight. He doesn't rush, he doesn't overact, he just watches. And that's what makes him effective. He turns simple situations, a police station, a courtroom, into something dangerous. And that's where the episode benefits from shifting its focus away from Michael, because the plan itself is still there, structured, controlled, familiar. But the real tension comes from something else. And then there's the phone call between Wyatt and Mahone. A small moment, but one that carries a lot of weight, because by this point, both men are certain of their position. There's no hesitation left, no doubt. Just two characters moving toward the same outcome. And that's what makes it intense. Not because something big happens, but because it feels inevitable. It's no longer a question of if something will go wrong, but when and for whom. And that's where the episode finds its tension. We can go into detail about everything that happens in a 45-minute episode, but what's more interesting is understanding why a season like this, even when it feels slower at times, still manages to hold your attention, often without you even realizing it. And maybe that's exactly what Season 4 does well, not by being perfect, but by quietly building something that keeps you watching. What do you think? This was Blowout. Thanks for watching.